Morning. Some more no nonsense. Zeke here. Today I was going to talk about what I call change of direction. I'm just driving, so it's kind of funky with the lights or whatever, the sunshine. But change of direction is something that I come across pretty often, whether it's my own change of direction or someone else's. But usually someone else's change of direction causes my own change of direction, so I'm going to focus on that for now. But I have what I call a 4-step process that's something that you can apply to pretty much anything that's emotionally involved, because that's usually what it is. And so I'm going to focus on talking about change of direction that comes from somewhere else or someone else. And for example, I was going out to grab a customer's car that I was working on, and it was parked out in front of my business. And I go out to move the car, and there was a bag of trash on the ground that someone left on the ground, and the car next to it ran over it. And inside of that bag of trash were a bunch of bags of ketchup, and they splattered all over my customer's car. It was a mess all over the side of the car, across the hood. It actually was on the roof. It splattered all over the windshield wipers, everything. It was like a big mess, and it had been on there for a while because the car was sitting out there for a few hours. And so, first of all, I just started to run, mad emotions going through my mind. Obviously, I was pissed off, frustrated, angry, wanted to go after the person that left the trash in the first place, because now it became my problem and became part of my responsibility, and I didn't feel like it was in the first place. So then I start running scenarios through my mind that a time when I saw someone dump their trash out of their car in a parking lot, and I actually stopped and picked it up and handed it back to them and said, it's their responsibility and take responsibility for their trash. And I did it politely, and they apologized and actually took their trash with them. But in this case, I couldn't do anything about it because there was no one around to take responsibility. So what I had to do first is deal with my emotion that was caused by this change of direction, which had nothing to do with me. And so my first step in a process of dealing with this is I look at the emotion. Maybe I only look at one of them. Like if it's anger, then I look at the anger and focus on that for a minute, and then I just love that. That's my second step, is I love that emotion, because you have to love it sometimes in order to calm it down. And so if I love the anger, then it tends to reverse it, and sometimes I might even start laughing at how I'm letting this anger take over and creating these crazy scenarios in my mind of what I want to do to the person that did this, and and how I want to avoid what I have to do. And so then I just go into the third step, which is I say, fuck it. And then I say fuck it in a way that's and do what's right. Do what's right for me, and do what's right for whatever the situation is. So then I say fuck it. There's ketchup on the car. I'm angry, whatever. I let that soak in for a second. And then I just push forward in removing the ketchup, because I don't want to have further problems with it damaging something else. And then I look at it in a positive way, in that, okay, well, I'm going to pick up the trash. I'm going to, do something good. Do what's right. Pick up the trash and move on. And then what happens for me is the final step is there's an acceptance of almost like the absurdity of what happened, and an acceptance of the emotion. And I kind of come to a place of peace within, and then everything's okay. And also a realization that it's just temporary. It's not as serious as it feels because of the emotions that are running through your mind. So that's how I deal with that as far as change of direction. And I can even do that with myself. And you can actually apply those 4 steps to any time you're dealing with something that causes an emotional reaction, and it smooths things out and makes your day a little bit easier. Even if it's a situation with an individual or relationships or anything that you're going through. So something to think about. Any comments, leave them below. Have a great day.